So, every Thursday from now on, we get to prep this campaign. I meant to prep this around 9 o'clock, but it just didn't happen that way. I had a bunch of stuff I had to deal with YouTube, and then my monitor cable was fried, so I had to replace that. And yeah, but here we are. So, don't want to stay up too late, but gonna at least put an hour in. See how it turns out. Alright, let's see. Got some music playing. Gotta figure out. Ah, there it is. Just a little bit. Okay. So, I made a Foundry world while I was waiting on all the YouTube stuff to get sorted out. And I've been working off stream on the document. You can see that I have a notes section here for today that we need to kind of go over. And then I'm working on a what do we need to actually run this fucking game. So one of the things that I asked in Discord today that I don't think I got any answers for. Wait, I got one. I asked my players. I'm working on the player's guide for the campaign. Is there a playable race or class you must play? If so, I will make them a core race of Skyhaven Society. If a class, I will work to ensure it works for the game. Also, what sort of things would you like to see in the guide? And one person replied, I'm definitely playing Kineticist, otherwise I'm just playing as some sort of small race. I think major city settlements and the main cultural groups and norms would be good to include. So that was pretty good feedback. That was good stuff. So, we have the Foundry world built. We got nothing in there. We got no mods turned on. None of that. None of that. So, it's really not that much of an achievement. And I don't know if I want to turn on a bunch of mods in, like, on stream at this time. But maybe. One of the things that I made that I'm pretty proud of is a shitload of repeatable textures. So hold on. I can show you those real quick. And then I got all the Zapiku airships, all 87 of them, and using Cloud Convert, I turned them all into WebPs with transparency. So that was pretty cool too. That was pretty cool too. All right, let me see if I can. Oh my God, hold on. All right, let me see if I can find these. Drive, sure. Oh, can I not open to Google Drive? There we go. All right, and then son of a bitch. Where do you think they ended up? Crash Gem, Pathfinder 2e, Stolen. Nope, definitely not there. All right, hold on. Where do we think they ended up? S for Skyhaven. Nope. Wow. All right, hold on. Skyhaven player stock just floating around loose. Nice. Alright, well, listen, I did make it. I don't know what to tell you. Hold on, I got another place I could show you. I wanted to show you them here because, hold on, I got an idea. Let me see. Recent files. Scroll. 87 airships. I mean, that should give me an idea of where they're stored. Hold on. Alright. Skyhaven is just stored in a folder called Skyhaven. And the path to Skyhaven is Bart PSDs? Son of a bitch. Why isn't it my PS... Whatever. Life is silly that way. I'll have to sort that tomorrow. I'm not gonna sort it on stream. Okay. So Bart PSDs, we've got a Skyhaven folder. We sure fucking do. Alright, Skyhaven maps, and then Skyhaven skies. Alright, so what I wanted to show you is, maybe they'll open, but I have these 80 by 50 sky maps, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. And maybe they'll load. You don't know. They could, maybe. Any second now. They're thinking about it real hard. Alright. So, in Photoshop, there is a filter called offset. And what offset does is it lets you offset an image, and it's the tool that you use to make a repeating texture. So, this is 8,000 by 5,000. So we're going to do, we don't want it to be a perfect in the middle. So we'll do 3,000. And then we'll do 2,000. All right. And then whenever you hit Control Alt F, it will apply the filter again. And you can actually see, if I zoom in here, that there is a seam like right there that I missed. So what I was doing, what I used to do is used to hand paint away all the seams. Nowadays you don't have to hand paint all the seams away. So I would select the seam and I would put remove the seam, and then the robot would be like, oh yeah, I can do that. That's super easy. And it's always good to find tasks that the robot can do easily that would take us a long time. I don't want it to like completely take over, like making all the art, but something tedious like this, hell yeah. Alright, so I'm actually going to save that because, you know, there was a seam. So initially, these were not seamless. And what I mean by seamless is, oh, it's got to save before we can do anything else with it. Alright, we'll check out another one. So, like, if I keep offsetting it, right, it could scroll in the background of, like, a scene, and ideally, there wouldn't be any seams. But here's another one. This is a much better monitor than the one I was using at work. Let's see, remove seam. So the idea is, if so much of the game is going to be sent flying around in their airship or whatever, I wanted to have lots of nice, seamless sky textures for them to fly around in. So same deal here. Look, storm clouds, no matter what. That one actually turned out really good. You never see a seam. Then we got this one with like clouds and stars and shit. I like how this one turned out. Still, you can't. There's no seams on this one. It's good. Very happy with that. We got this boyo over here. Oops, that's the wrong button. See, same deal. Quite a bull. This guy, love how this one looks. And when I say seamless, I mean like if we use tile scroll or the equivalent, it'll like look good the whole time that it's going. So very excited about that. Anyways, okay, gonna get rid of all of these. That one does have a little bit of a seam there. Hold on. This was actually the hardest one to do. This weird like watercolor sky was actually like the hardest one. It took like a lot of trial and error. I think that's gonna do it. Anyways, so we have the airship maps uploaded. We have the skies uploaded. We built the Foundry world, but now I want to work on Maybe getting a player's guide, like an actual player's guide written. So we're gonna make another document. All right, and we'll do fit, and we will do PF2e Sky Haven Player's Guide. Right, put that over there. So when I was going through and trying to identify like what is needed and when are we starting the game? Starting the game January 9th. So this is like, I'm pretty sure the first new game of the new year, and we have the least amount of prep done for it. So it's stressing me out a lot. So what do we need? Player's guide. Player's guide's got to cover the playable races, setting information, known history, known factions. Now I say known because there are going to be factions in the game, and there's going to be history in the game that the players and even the people of Skyhaven don't know about. Any homebrew that we're using, we got to find rules for sailing and ship battles. We got to figure out. Yeah, I wanted to do it from 9 to 11, but it just I had so much shit come up, dude. But now I'm like here, and I'm trying to make it happen. All right, so we got sailing, exploration, captaincy, weather, and reputation. So captaincy is going to replace the Kingmaker camping mechanics. So instead of the camping mechanics that we're using in Kingmaker, we're going to have something called captaincy. And that's going to be based on the Skull and Shackles captaincy system that we abandoned about halfway through the campaign. So we'll see how it goes. Then there's going to be the standard Pathfinder 2 Player's Guide recommended skills, recommended and allowed classes, archetype guide, and then backgrounds and recommended custom backgrounds. So that is all the things that we need for the Player's Guide, and I want to kind of knock out the Player's Guide first and foremost. So, all right. Skyhaven Player's Guide. Insert. Horizontal line. Perfect. It's a strong start. Strong start. Alright. So we need a Player's Guide to look at. We could look at the BFAS Kingmaker one. Let's see. Kingmaker. Kingmaker Player's Guide. Show me the beef. That beef-ass Player's Guide. Alright. So in here, we got character creation. We're just going to copy as we go. So, character creation. And this will be heading 1. Ancestry will be heading 2. Ancestry? There we go. Backgrounds will be another heading 2. Classes will be a heading 2. Other considerations. Let's just go ahead. Well, what can we sum up the other stuff? Let's just work on this at first. All right. So we're going to go to page 4, character creation. How to use this guide. Suggested character options. All right. So that should be the first thing, right? Suggested character options. All right. Strongly recommended, recommended, appropriate, not recommended. This is a pretty nice table, I guess. I don't really like tables very much, but I feel like it's a bit too heavy-handed. So I don't know if we actually need a table for it. We'll do strongly recommended. Will be a 3. There we go. And then alignment isn't really a thing, so we'll do ancestries, classes, languages, skills, archetypes. Alright. Maybe we should do a table. Fuck it, I don't know. Okay. And then we would do recommended, appropriate, and not recommended. Alright. I don't really know what would be not recommended for this campaign. I guess, like, something that relies on land mounts. That would probably not be allowed. Clerics. There we go. Alright. I would say a reliance on land-based vehicles and shit would probably be bad. Alright, so this would be appropriate. Appropriate. Recommended. Alright. But we don't need this stuff yet. We're going to keep going. Alright. Character creation. Ancestries. Amid the constant threat of civil war, this is no spoilers because this is a player's guide. Amid the constant threat of civil war, the inhabitants of Revoy have more pressing concerns. Thematic ancestries. Groups of antagonistic kobolds and lizard folk reside in the Stoneland. So players who make characters with these ancestries may have to make difficult choices. Alternatively, the presence of such a PC, blah, blah, blah. Very limited knowledge of the first world. This is all good stuff to keep in mind. Alright. So, we got unaffiliated ancestries and unusual ancestries. I feel like thematic is... It's kind of a weird way to do it, but I get what it's saying. Alright, so that would be thematic. Would be 2, 3. There we go. And unaffiliated question mark? And then unusual. Alright. And then I'm gonna put here people of Skyhaven. There we go. Alright. So scroll this down. Alright, so the people of Skyhaven, there are the humans. And we need to learn more about humans. Don't worry, we've got it covered with our magic robot. Alright. Pathfinder robot. There are many types of humans in Golarion. What? Damn, what's the word for it? Ethnicity? Culture? What is it? What is the sub thing of heritage called? I never, it's heritage, right? Ancestry and heritage? Okay, so what heritages of human ancestry have a love of invention, magic, and architecture. Architecture slash planar studies. Alright. In the remastered edition of Pathfinder 2e, several human heritages and versatile heritages align with these. The Aphorites. These humans are connected to Axis, the plane of law, giving them a natural affinity for invention and order. They are known for their structured approach to life, making them a good fit for characters interested in architecture and planar studies. The Avarin. The heritage represents humans with elven ancestry, making them adept at blending elven magical traditions and human innovation. They have access to both elf and Avarian ancestry feats, which enhance their abilities in magic and intellectual pursuits. Versatile heritage. While not specifically tied to invention or magic, this heritage offers incredible flexibility, allowing a human character to customize their abilities with extra feats, which can be directed toward magical or technological advancements. Okay. What is the versatile heritage for being part elemental? And so, oh, it's ethnicity. Okay. I'll ask the same question, but with ethnicity. After it answers this one about being part elemental. It's really thinking hard about it. Damn, bro. Reload. Oh, it just gave up on the question. Okay. There are many types of humans. What ethnicities? Can anyone be half elf now? Or is that just still a human thing? Alright, several human ethnicities of Galarian have cultural affinities for invention, magic, architecture, and planar studies. The Aslanti, now largely extinct, were known for their mastery of magic and advanced technology. They left behind many architectural wonders and magical artifacts influencing later cultures across Galarian. Their descendants often pursue arcane studies, and their ancient ruins remain a focus for player exploration. The Taldans. Hailing from the Taldor Empire, Taldans have a deep appreciation for innovation, particularly in art, architecture, and engineering. Their culture promotes scholarship, and Taldans often are pioneers in magical and architectural advancements, especially in cities like Opara. I remember Opara. Shangsu and Tianchang. These ethnicities from the distant continent of Shaanxi emphasize magic and planar studies. Tian Tang, in particular, are known for the love of magic and scholarship, with many pursuing arcane studies, especially into Magical City. I don't want to like co-op that, but it would be cool to have that as part of the setting. All right. So what we'll do is we've got humans. So this would be 4. There we go. Okay. The most common human ethnicities are. Go. So Skyhaven actually had the largest concentration of Aslanti descendants in the entire world. Exclamation mark. Nice. All right. Okay. So let's see. Changshu and Changtang. These ethnicities in this continent of Shaanxi. Alright. Okay. While this population is a minority, comma, the original humans from Chiang Mai who came to study and work, in Sky Haven, brought their families and workers with them, comma, as well as their culture. All right. That's pretty fun. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Does Pathfinder have a versatile heritage related to elementals like the Genasi from 5e? What? Who are we barking at? What are we barking at? Alright. Then I feel like versatile heritage should be its own section. Heritages. Alright. Pathfinder features a versatile heritage related to elements called Geniekin. Okay. Alright. So, let's see. Geniekin. And then this one. Alright. That there. Let's see. And Aphorites. So an Aphorite is a Nephilim with lawful focus. Okay. Cool. I'm into that shit. Alright. Okay. Elves. Alright. I have this. Hold on. Let's see. Snow elves? Where did I put the elves? They're called like the Ildari elves. Elves of Skyhaven. Here we go. A group of Ilverani, led astray from their homeland by a charismatic Twilight speaker, her love of arcane magic and technological wonders changed her outlook on life, and she recruited like-minded elves to her cause. Together they helped the city's founders build and protect whatever Skyhaven's original name was. We need a original name for this. Oh, we should probably put Geniekin, Genasi, primarily sylphs. There we go. Alright. And then elves. Okay, so do we need... Yeah, hold on. Elemental plane of air. Where's my Skyhaven one? Ilverani elf artwork request. Ooh, nice. Okay. Don't get distracted. Troops. Outlaws. Skyhaven. Here we go. Give me 10 possible names for the original city that is now called Skyhaven. Keep in mind, it was founded by the nearly extinct surviving descendants of the Aslanti Empire. Ugh. Yeah. Well, I mean, the air genie kin are called Sylph, right? But like the air genie are called something else, like Janny or something like that. All right, here are 10 possible names for original city that became Skyhaven, reflecting his Aslanti origins. Aslithor. The name invokes the legacy of Aslanti Empire. Tyrannithus, meaning beacon of the stars in ancient Aslanti. Oh, I like that one. Tyrannithus. Thalasara, derived from Thalassa, the Aslanti word for ocean. So these are like Greek people, essentially, I'm thinking. Like Greek inspired. This is really good because my mind's eye for like the culture here was like, what if Greek inspired airship steampunk? So like I'm kind of into this idea. Let's see. Oh, Aerolantis. That's low-hanging fruit, bro. Serenithus. Vorthazar. Empyrean. Wah. Orithar. Stone of Heaven. Zalathan. A name rooted in Aslanti legend, signifying a city of light that rose from the depths of the skies. Holy shit. I think Tyrannithus is probably the best. So we're gonna put Tyrannithus, and then so where's Skyhaven the city? Oh no, we're calling it Bastion. Oh. The city of Bastion, a haven of knowledge and enlightenment. Bastion feels kind of weak. I don't know. Now that we got some more lore cooking in there. Let's see. Tyrannithus. I kind of digging it. Tyrannithus. Yeah, I like it. A haven of knowledge and enlightenment. Okay. So what do we have in our ad for the game? Not that it matters. We can change it. Did I mention the name of it? Let's see. Games listing. Skyhaven. Join us for Skyhaven. Blah, blah, blah. Shape the world. Special heritages. Challenging foes. Nope. Doesn't say shit. Alright. So, I say we ditch Bastion in favor of Tyrannithus. Beacon of the Stars. I like that because Beacon of the Stars kind of implies that they attracted the attention of a great old one, which is why they had to flee the Prime Material Plane. So I'm kind of into that. All right, the city of Tyrannithus, a haven for knowledge and enlightenment. All right, so what we gotta do is Control C, Control F, find and replace Bastion with Tyrannithus, and replace all. Wham. That was easy. Oh, we're out of music? No. That was a pretty good mix. Let's do it again. Alright. Let's see. Update your memory with this change. we will be calling the city of Bastion a new name, Tyrannithus. Tyrannithus. Okay. Meaning beacon of the stars in Old Aslanti. Awesome. Okay. Nice. Let's keep going. Oh, I was supposed to grab these elves. That was the whole reason we were here. So elves. Elves of Skyhaven. There we go. Alright. Elves. Okay, a group of Vivari elves, blah blah blah. Beautiful. Okay. And then let's see. Dwarves. Alright. Okay. Tell me all about the dwarves who like airships. Dwarves who like airships. In Galarian, dwarves with affinity for airships and advanced technology are primarily found in regions like Dongon Hold and Alcastar. These areas are known for their technological advancements, including firearms and explosives, and vehicles like airships. Dwarves in these regions are often skilled in crafting and mechanical innovations. Okay. Building on that, comma, what ethnicity are those dwarves? Dwarves associated with airships are Dongong Hold dwarves, Alcastar dwarves. Listen to me. Alright, hold on. PF2e dwarf heritage. Dwarf heritages. Alright. What are these assholes called? Now, you're making me actually read. Alright. Anvil dwarf. Dead Warden dwarf. Elemental Heart dwarf. Forge dwarf. Forge Blessed dwarf. Oath Keeper dwarf. Strong Blood dwarf. Rock dwarf. Damn. It's kind of... Okay. Ancient Blooded dwarf. Dwarf heroes shrug off magic. Anvil dwarf. I feel like Anvil dwarf is probably the most likely. And Elemental Heart dwarf. Yeah. Okay. Forge Blessed dwarf. Oh. Is Forge dwarf like the the change from like Forge Blessed dwarf? Probably. All right. Let's see. What kind of dwarf is that? MBK? Maybe a dwarf? Is that what you said? You trying to write maybe a dwarf? PF2e. Man, let's see. The BK dwarves live in the Turwa Uplands. They are one of the two main dwarven groupings in the Expanse, but have little contact with the other group, the Taralu dwarves of the Eastern Jungles. They congregate in villages Dwarves become the first. Ah, thank you. This is the dwarves that we wanted. All right. Establish the Sky Citadel of Cloudspire. When they arrive, blah blah blah. All right, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Today, dragons are a critical part of greatly respected members of their society. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So dwarves, and that would be 3. No, 4. Okay. Boop. Okay. So switch back to Skyhaven. The primary dwarven heritage in Tyrannithus are the okay of Mongi Expanse and Alkenstar, particularly the clans associated with airships and sky citadels. How do you think they would fit into the city's history and current situation? It's thinking about it. Alright, the BK dwarves from the Mwangi Expanse and Alkenstar are an ideal fit for Tyrannithus, especially considering their expertise in airships and sky citadels. Their cultural heritage of building and maintaining impressive aerial strongholds aligns perfectly with the technology and magical innovations required to keep Tyrannithus afloat in the elemental plane of air. Historical role in Tyrannithus. Founding engineers. The MVK dwarves likely played a critical role in the initial construction, helping to fortify the city's defenses and incorporate their advanced knowledge of airship technology. Their understanding of sky citadels, coupled with their mechanical prowess, would have been indispensable in adapting life to a floating city after its teleportation into Skyhaven. As pioneers in the development of airships, they could have been instrumental in creating first vessels capable of traversing the plane of air. Their ship would have served as the foundation for Tyrannithus' fleet and trade routes, making them key players in the city's survival and exploration of nearby floating islands. Cultural impacts. The MVK dwarves' value of craftsmanship, community, and innovation would have greatly influenced their economic and cultural landscape of Tyrannithus. They may have established major guilds or clans that are responsible for maintaining the city's airships and advanced infrastructure, ensuring Tyrannithus remains a beacon of technological advancement. Current role. Skyward clans. They likely heavily involved in maintaining and expanding Tyrannithus' airships and fortifications. Their clans would be the leading experts in crafting and maintaining floatstone technology. Nice. So that's the nuggie that we want for the guide. Alright. They are not likely. They are heavily involved in maintaining expanding their clans are the leading experts in crafting and maintaining floatstone technology, ensuring the city's continued presence in the skies. As explorers, they could be the forefront of expeditions, using airships to explore new islands, uncover ancient secrets. They could also be seen as the guardians of Tyrannithus, fiercely defending it. Man, this is good shit. Struggles. In conclusion, alright, I love it. I love it. Political power. Dwarven clans associated with airships and engineering likely hold significant political influence, perhaps within the representation of the Council of Wind that governs the city. The expertise ensures the safety of technology. The voice will be pivotal in matters of defense and expansion. All right. So I like that too. So we'll go ahead and add that here. We'll just put hold instead of likely hold. Perhaps the representation, let's see, when their expertise ensures the safety and their voice is pivotal in matters of defense and expansion. Love it. Love it. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I want a small portion of the human population, the largest heritage demographic in Tyrannithus, to be let's see. How would, let's see. What is the history of these people coming to Tyrannithus when it was still in Galarian, comma, and how do they fit into society now that the city is in Skyhaven? Question mark. Hey, what's up? I am Mr. V. Some late night prep for sure. History of the Shangshu and Shangtang in Tyrannithus, formerly Bastion. Thanks for telling me. When Tyrannithus was still in Galarian, it attracted scholars, researchers, and those fascinated by the arcane due to its prestigious institutions and its position as a center of magical knowledge. Among those drawn to the city were scholars from Tang Mai, a famed magical city in Shangxi, known for its advanced planar studies. The first Chang scholars arrived in Tyrannithus to engage in research into planar magic, working closely with the city's scholars to uncover the secrets of the multiverse. Their expertise in planar studies and arcane magic fit well with the intellectual pursuits of Tyrannithus, and they quickly found a place in... The most important thing is you want to have big One Piece energy. We've got it now, bro. We're going to have ninjas, samurais, pirates. Fucking got it all, bro. We got everything now. All right, let's see. Overtime, elevate. It's a global hub for planar magic, with their studies role in the city after its teleportation to Skyhaven. Now that Tyrannithus exists in the plane of air, and Shangshu and Shangtang populations have found their skills more relevant than ever, the very fabric of reality within Skyhaven presents endless opportunities for study. All right, how they fit into the current society. Arcane scholars and planar researchers. The Teen Chang love for magic and scholarship has placed them at the heart of the city's ongoing efforts to adapt to the elemental plane of air. They are leading the research on how the unique properties of this plane can be harnessed for the city's benefit, experimenting with air and wind magic, planar anchoring, and floatstone technology. Cultural influence. The Teen Tang community has introduced elements of Tang Mai's rich magical traditions into Tyrannithus. Their customs, festivals, and unique magical techniques, such as the use of intricate sigils and elemental infusions, have subtly influenced the city's arcane practices. Their deep respect for education and their dedication to pursuit of knowledge have also bolstered the intellectual culture. Nice. Alright, struggles. Being far from their homeland, some Chang Tang families feel isolated and disconnected from the greater magic of Shangxi. Though they are accepted in Tyranthus, they remain a minority and may experience challenges when it comes to integrating fully into broader society. And magical pressure. People from this ethnicity are going to feel pressured to pursue magical careers instead of martial careers. Oh, I could see that. Hopefully, we got a lot of robots cooking here. All right, I like this right here. So this is a pretty beef guide we're writing here. Like, all right, Shang-Chi's love for magic and scholarship, blah blah blah, good stuff. All right, human Aslanti. Okay. So this is actually Tyranthus. Actually had the largest concentration. Okay. All right. Okay. Help me figure out why and how Tyranthus was founded by the largest surviving population of Aslanti descendants. Also, how does it impact the culture and history of the city, and how do they fit into present day? Here is more info from my notes. Thinking about it. Founding of Tyranthus by Aslanti descendants. Tyranthus was founded as a refuge for the largest surviving population of Aslanti descendants after the fall of the ancient Aslanti Empire. Following the empire's collapse, the Aslanti people scattered across Galarian, with many perishing or losing the knowledge of their great civilization. However, one group of Aslanti survivors, steeped in the arcane mastery and technological advancements of their ancestors, sought to rebuild and preserve their culture. They traveled across the world, gathering other remnants of Aslanti bloodlines, seeking a place where they could start anew. This is fucking hype as hell. The group eventually settled in what would become Tyranthus, choosing the location for its access to powerful ley lines and proximity to ancient Aslanti ruins rich in magical artifacts. Their goal was to create a city that embodied the spirit and legacy of their forebears, a beacon of the stars, where Aslanti descendants would continue their magical studies and advance their technological prowess. Tyranthus became a center of learning and invention, home to the largest concentration of Aslanti descendants in the world, many of whom pursued magical and planar studies to reclaim the power and knowledge their ancestors had once possessed. So, hear me out. We're going to go to our general robot. We're going to say, how did the Aslanti people get wiped out? The ancient. All right, then we're going to go up here to end game, and we're going to put confrontation with the Nemesis. The original great old one who seeks the destruction of the entire Aslanti race. Alright, the Aslanti, one of God. I don't feel like reading, my throat's sore. Can you read it, robot?
The Aslanti, one of Galarian's most advanced and powerful human civilizations, were primarily wiped out during the Earthfall. This catastrophic event occurred when the Aboleths, ancient aquatic creatures with vast knowledge and power, pulled a massive meteor from space to destroy the surface-dwelling civilizations,
Yeah, that'll
particularly the Aslanti. The meteor struck Galarian and caused the Starstone to crash into the planet, leading to massive tsunamis, earthquakes, and the formation of a lasting impact that plunged the world into a dark age.
Yeah.
The Earthfall decimated the Aslanti Empire and buried much of its culture and magical knowledge under the sea. A few survivors, like the powerful sorcerer Arodin, managed to escape or survive through various magical means. Arodin later became a key figure in Galarian's mythology, but the vast majority of the Aslanti people and their secrets were lost 19 source, 20 source, 29 source.
All right, hear me out. Some of the best bad guys in RPGs have been meteors, okay? Genova, Lavos, whatever killed the dinosaurs. Atropos, the world-born dead. So what I'm thinking is, the Nemesis, right, was summoned by the Aboleth, and it's like a meteor-sized creature, or that was like its ship, like its shell that it traveled around in. But the creature has never abandoned its duty of hunting down. Hey, listen, that robot tries her best, and if you listen, she takes time to breathe while she's reading. It's very creepy. I don't know why they programmed that in, but she'll stop and take a breath and like keep going. It's super weird. All right, she does a great job. All right, I'm into this shit. I'm into this shit. All right, so we're gonna go down to Tyrannithus. Oops. There's a lot of A's in there. All right. The history. Whether you're looking for blah blah blah, Tyrannithus faction, Tyrannithus. They got a council, Tyrannithus. Blah blah blah. The city of Tyrannithus. All right. We got a history in here somewhere. Governance. The fall of Tyrannithus. We're gonna put here. Founding. Beautiful. Okay. The Taldans. Hail from the Taldaran. Taldans are just fucking everywhere, right? Like, they're like the most like basic bitch humans. In Galarian. All right. Tell me all about the Taldan humans. Taldans are primarily human ethnicity, a prominent human ethnicity. Okay. They're basically the people that live in the shackles. They're the primary race that lives in the shackles. Taldans are known for their arrogance and insularity. They tend to view the culture as the pinnacle of human achievement and see other ethnicities as inferior. Dang. Taldan men often express their arrogance through machoism. While Taldan women are known for being biting and critical, especially when it comes to social status and appearance. Despite their cultural pride, Taldans have made remarkable contributions to the arts, magic, and governance. Okay. Alright. How would the Taldan humans fit into the history of the city and the present day? Man, having someone else, even if it's a robot, who has such a strong working knowledge of the lore is really good. Alright, the Taldan humans with a rich history of military conquest, aristocracy, and cultural dominance played a key role in the founding and development of Tyrannithus before teleportation to the elemental plane of air. As descendants of the Taldor Empire, an empire with strong connections to the ancient Aslanti, Many Taldan nobles and influential families saw the construction of Tyrannithus as a golden opportunity to reclaim the lost prestige and power of their ancestral Aslanti bloodlines. Okay, so this started as a slightly problematic eugenics project, but that's cool. They saw Tyrannithus to reveal the strength of Taldor, aligning themselves with the Aslanti descendants and forging important political and social connections. The Taldan contributions, particularly in matters of military organization, governance, and infrastructure, were vital. Taldan humans shaped the city's early government, military expertise, present day. Taldan families are often seen as stewards of tradition, keeping alive many of the city's historical practices. Okay. May not be the... the descendants of the original Taldan noble families who helped found Tyrannithus still wield considerable influence. While they may not be the intellectual and magical elite like the Aslanti descendants, they are key players in the political and military sections of the city. Many of them continue to hold seats in the Council of Wind, ensuring that the voice is heard in matters of governments and defense. Nice. I like that. Military leadership. Talons continue to lead in military and defense sectors. The Tyrannithus Guard, which traces its roots to the original Taldan military divisions, remains a respected and formidable force, often commanded by Taldan generals. Nice. Okay. That's fun. These guys sound like they're going to be a problem. Alright. So, put that in there. 5. That here. Okay. Scroll. Alright. Present day. Leaders in the arcane and technological sectors. Cultural preservation. Let's see. Even though the Aslanti-descended population remains at the forefront of Tyrannithus' society, they are primary scholars, engineers, and mages, with many of them occupying key positions in the Council of Winds. Alright. In the present day, these descendants are seen as guardians of a lost age, tasked with the maintaining of the memory of the Aslanti Empire while also pushing forward towards new frontiers. Their extensive knowledge of both ancient and modern magical practices keeps them relevant, but they also carry the weight of being a dwindling elite class whose power and influence may one day fade like their ancestors if they are not vigilant. Fucking spicy as hell. Alright. Woo. Okay. I dig it. So, moving on. Why okay. Are there any halfling cultures from Golarion that would fit into Tyrannithus society before the exodus to Skyhaven? Alright. Like, I know gnomes would be good, because they love, like, curiosity and stuff like that. Chilaxian halflings? Hell yeah! Alright. Yes, there are several halfling cultures from Golarion that would fit into Tyrannithus society before the city's exodus to the elemental plane of air. The halflings' adaptability, community-oriented nature, and their knack for filling diverse roles in various cultures make them a natural fit for the melting pot of Tyrannithus. Here are a few halfling cultures that would integrate well into the city. The Chilaxian halflings could have escaped Cheliax and sought refuge, where their organization skills, political acumen, and loyalty made them ideal administrators, merchants, and diplomats. Nice. These halflings would still be an important part of the city's administrative elite, serving on councils, running businesses, or even as liaisons between the various races and factions within Tyrannithus. They are seen as highly organized, reliable, and resourceful citizens who excel in the roles that require... I like that! I like the idea that Tyranthus is just full of nerds, and they were like, I don't got time to be a merchant. I don't got time for business. What the fuck? And so these guys showed up, and they're like, we do business. We work at the business factory. We're ready to do some business. And then all the nerds, all the wizards and stuff were like, good. Get to it. I like that. All right. So we do have Mwangi Expanse halflings, but I kind of like the I kind of like, let's see. Dwarves. All right. We'll go here, halflings. That's a 4. Okay, so Chilaxian halflings. All right. And then we got these talented and artisanal halflings, the yokai halflings from Jiangxi. Oh, I want to say I'm pronouncing that right, but I probably need to take some lessons or something. Yokai halflings. The halflings here. You know what? Just fucking read it to me, maybe. Ooh, wait. The hidden halflings from Varesia are wanderers of free spirits. Halflings travel. Ah. All right. Okay. So let's see. Yokai halflings. Tell me all about yokai halflings. All I know about yokai is they live in a watch. It was a good show. It's a great show. Yokai Watch. Alright, yokai halflings are a fascinating, relatively unique concept in Pathfinder 2e Remastered. They are halflings who have ties to yokai spirits, which are supernatural creatures from East Asian mythology. This heritage gives them an eerie connection to the spirit world, with abilities that may reflect this mischief, charm, and even danger associated with the spirits. In terms of gameplay, they have abilities that focus on supernatural talents, trickery, illusion, and evasion. Yokai halflings can embody both the lighthearted and sometimes chaotic aspects of their halfling heritage, or be ultimate ninjas. Ultimate ninjas! Alright, so something I also wanted to add here in the versatile heritages is big heads. Too much air got in the head when they were growing up. And then Giantkin. Large-sized people. Because elemental planes be wild sometimes. Alright. Let's see. I like that. Yokai halflings. Alright. These halflings could have come to us as part of the influence. Alright, so we'll put that there. These halflings came to Tyranthus as part of the influx of Jiangxi scholars and engineers working alongside their craftsmanship. They have been responsible for designing intricate magical items, preparing elaborate banquets, and performing the city's theaters and festivals. These halflings continue to play a role in artistic and cultural circles, contributing to cities. Also, they are amazing ninjas. Alright, sweet. No, wait, there's no S on ninjas. Alright. Okay. Dang. Where are we at now? Scroll. I'm not worried about the campaign. It's fine. It starts January 7th or 9th or whatever. It's just okay. We're just building an entire campaign from scratch, level 1 to 20. No big deal. I'm sure it'll be okay. Okay. Let's see. Next up is gnomes. Do we really need gnomes? Nah. Nah. All right. Halflings. There we go. All right, Tengu. Okay. Right. Why would the city of Tirana this have a population of Tengu there? How would they fit into the history and the modern day? Oystery? That's close. Alright. So the reason that we want Tengu, obviously... Have I read the whole campaign? Yeah, Carrot. It starts January 9th. Ah. Hey, listen. We're gonna get it done, okay? We're gonna get it done. We're gonna do it. Alright, let's see. The Tengu, known for their agility, adaptability, and resourcefulness, have a natural affinity for exploration and trade. Their inclusion in Taranthus history would make sense due to several factors. Before teleportation, Taranthus was a hub for arcane studies and exploration, and the Tengu, with their love of travel, would arrive at the city as traders, explorers, and mercenaries. Their deep knowledge of the seas and skies would have made them valuable navigators and scouts, especially in a city that prized discovery and exploration. Cultural exchange. The Shangxi region, where many Tengu hail from. Wow, I had no idea we were going to be, like, ripping so much from that source book. This is kind of cool. Alright. Airship navigators and traders. Now turns as elemental planet air. Their natural affinity for the skies has become a critical asset. Many Tengu have taken on the roles as airship pilots, navigators, and traders. Explorers and scouts. Man, they're living their best fucking life. Strong tradition of storytelling. Community leaders. Dang. Okay. Alright. Martial Specialist. In Taranthus military forces, Tengu remain prized for their speed and agility. They can serve as skirmishers, scouts, and elite guards with new aerial combat techniques. Ah, so cool. So cool. Alright. So we'll throw those guys in. Tengu. 4. Alright, sweet. Elemental Touched. We've got that. The Returned. Okay. So we're going to cover that last. Minotaurs. Okay. Alright. So same question that we asked up here. Why would the city of Taranthus have a population of Minotaurs living there? I was thinking that maybe they lived in the mountain below the city and were good neighbors, then when the city teleported to the elemental plane of air, and took most of the mountain with it, comma, it also took the Minotaurs and their city along for the ride. I think this might have put a strain on the good neighbor status. Alright, before Tyranthus was teleported to the elemental plane of air, the city rested on a grand mountain, and below this mountain, a Minotaur civilization had flourished. These Minotaur, known for their strength, resilience, and natural ability to navigate complex labyrinths, lived in harmony with the people of Tyranthus. They were seen as good neighbors, maintaining a large, peaceful coexistence, with occasional trade and cultural exchanges. The Minotaurs helped protect the surrounding lands, using their strength to drive off dangerous creatures from the mountains and contributing to the defense of Tyranthus when needed. However, when the city was teleported to the elemental plane of air, the magical teleportation spell not only brought the city, but a large portion of the mountain that the Minotaurs called home. Along with their underground city and the surrounding environment, the Minotaurs' population was brought along for the ride, unintentionally becoming a part of Tyranthus' new reality in the skies. I like that. Alright, so Minotaurs. This also kind of goes with the Greek vibe, right? Like from the Aslanti or whatever. So this was pretty good. Ah, that's the wrong window. All right. Let's see. Impact on the history of Tyranthus. Before the teleportation, good neighbors. Before the teleportation, the relationship between the citizens of Tyranthus and the Minotaurs was largely mutually beneficial. The Minotaurs maintained the safety of the mountain, strengthened craftsmanship. Mountain dwellers. The Minotaurs lived in deep labyrinthian cities beneath the mountain where they honed their skills in stonecraft, mining, and martial prowess. Their labyrinths were marvels of architecture, serving as both homes and fortresses. The city of Tyranthus occasionally sought their expertise in underground construction and fortifications. After the teleportation, strained relations. The sudden teleportation of both Tyranthus and the portion of the mountain caused shock and confusion for the Minotaurs. They had no say in the matter, and their once stable lives were thrown into chaos. While they were used to the solidity of the earth, the weightless and ever-shifting nature of the elemental plane of air was disorienting and difficult for them to adapt to. Increased tensions. The relationship between the Minotaurs and the Terranathians. Jesus Christ. Alright, Terranathians became strained as resources became scarcer in the plane of air. The Minotaurs' need for stable land clashed with the city's adaptation to a floating airborne lifestyle. The fierce independence and struggle to adapt led to occasional conflicts with the city leaders and inhabitants, especially as the Minotaurs felt they were unfairly uprooted and expected to integrate into a society they didn't choose to join. Alright, I like that. Throw that there. Role in modern-day Tyranthus. Mountain keepers in the sky. Despite the tension, the Minotaurs remain essential to the city's stability. Their portion of the mountain has become a critical element of the floating mass, providing much-needed stability in raw materials like stone and metal, which are running low. The Minotaurs have resumed their mining and stone-cutting work in the few solid areas. Defenders of the city. I like that the dwarves are not like the miners. You know what I'm saying? I like that the Minotaurs are like the miners. That's kind of cool. Cultural tensions. The Minotaurs, being accustomed to the underground labyrinth, find the freedom of the sky difficult to adapt to. Many feel displaced. Minotaur City in the sky. The Minotaur City that came along with the mountain now floats alongside Tyranthus. It remains largely autonomous, with the Minotaurs still governing their own affairs, but it has become independent with Tyranthus for certain resources. Interdependent. Oh. Nice. Builders and engineers. In addition to their martial prowess, the Minotaur stonecrafting and engineering skills are highly valued. Cultural identity. Many Minotaurs struggle to maintain their cultural identity while adapting to a city that is increasingly focused on aerial and planar exploration. They are people of stone and earth, and the airy nature of Tyranthus. Strained politics. Wow. Minotaurs are the most trusted neighbors and defenders of the city. However, their unexpected inclusion in the civilization of the air has strained their relations. Beautiful. I love it. Alright. Alright. So, we're gonna go with that for Minotaurs. Okay. Next up is Kobolds. Alright. So, same thing. Gonna go grab Kobolds. Alright, so why would the city of Tyranthus have a population of kobolds living there? How would they fit into society? I was thinking that maybe they lived in the mountain below the city and were sycophantic. Is that how you spell that? Nope. Alright, sycophantic to the Minotaurs. So much so, comma, that they evolved to have many Minotaur-like features, especially bullhorns. And then when the city teleported and took most of the mountain, it also took the Minotaurs and kobolds and their city along for the ride. Alright. See how that cooks up. And let's see. Gargoyles. That's the next one. Not a lot of gargoyle stuff here. Alright. So, kobolds 5? No, 4? There we go. Gargoyles 4. Alright. The kobolds of Tyranthus were originally a subterranean race living within the mountain beneath the city. These kobolds, like many other kind, were naturally drawn to powerful figures and civilizations. In this case, they attached themselves to the Minotaurs, who ruled the underground labyrinths of the mountain. Over generations, the kobolds adopted a sycophantic relationship with the Minotaurs, seeing them as protectors and leaders. They emulated the Minotaurs so much that they began to evolve certain Minotaur-like features, primarily bullhorns, in a form of mimicry. When Tyranthus was teleported to the elemental plane of air, not only did it take the Minotaurs and their labyrinths, but also the kobolds who lived beneath and around the Minotaur city. The sudden shift caused a ripple effect in the already delicate balance between the people of the mountain and the city above. The kobolds saw the Minotaurs as their natural leaders, even adopting cultural and physical traits of their larger neighbors. This included not only their physical horned appearance, but also their labyrinthian lifestyle. Kobolds worked as assistants, servants, and laborers for the Minotaurs. Before the teleportation, the kobolds helped maintain the labyrinths and mines using their small size and clever nature to scout, trap, and defend the underground tunnels. They were valued for their ingenuity and willingness to perform tasks and the Minotaurs that the Minotaurs would find tedious. While the kobolds lived under the Minotaur's shadow, they also sought favor from the Tyranthus authorities, offering the services of miners, trapmakers, and scouts. Their role was generally more submissive, but they managed to weave themselves into the intricate fabric of the city's defense and resource-gathering systems, often without much recognition. However, their close relationship with the Minotaurs meant that they were often seen as pests by the other inhabitants of the mountain and city. Their sycophantic nature, combined with their tendency to overstep boundaries, caused friction, particularly with human and dwarven residents who were less tolerant of the kobold's subservient yet opportunistic behavior. Role in modern-day Tyranthus. Surviving in the elemental plane of air, like the Minotaurs, kobolds were reluctantly dragged into the elemental plane of air. Their natural tendency to live underground were challenged by the floating airy nature. Some kobolds have taken on roles as airship mechanics, using their small size and technical ingenuity to navigate tight spaces and maintain ships. They have proven surprisingly adept at working with the airships and magical technology needed to keep Tyranthus functioning. Others have continued to serve the Minotaurs, helping them adapt to the new roles of the floating city by assisting with resource gathering and maintaining what remains of the mountain that came along for the ride. Cultural influence and identity crisis. Kobolds, now with their distinct Minotaur-like features, have developed a unique identity as the Horned Kobolds of Tyrannithus. While they still revere the Minotaurs, many kobolds are starting to assert their independence within the city, taking on new roles and building their own communities. This has caused some tension with the Minotaurs, who see the kobolds as their subordinates. But the kobolds are starting to explore their potential in the broader society of Tyrannithus. Kobolds have become integral to the city's exploration efforts, using their keen senses and trap-making skills to assist in navigating new floating islands and discovering resources. Aww. They are often seen as indispensable to the city's ongoing survival, even if they still carry the stigma of their sycophantic past. Tensions with other residents. As Tyrannithus has had to adapt to the plane of air, the resource strain has increased tensions between the different groups. The kobolds' tendency to scavenge and claim whatever they can for themselves, often under the guise of helping the Minotaurs, has put them at odds with other residents. They are still viewed with suspicion by some of the human and dwarven populations, who see them as opportunistic and untrustworthy. However, their indispensable skills in maintaining airships and fortifications have made them an unavoidable part of the city's fabric. Struggles with identity. The kobolds of Tyrannithus are also undergoing an identity crisis. Many are torn between their loyalty to the Minotaurs and their desire to establish their own standing in society. Some kobolds have embraced the horned appearance of Minotaur-like culture, while others are beginning to forge their own path. Cultural independence. The kobolds, especially the younger generations, are starting to feel pull towards cultural independence. Aww. Wow. That's really cool. Okay. There. Alright, so the gargoyles. Alright. Okay. Do I have gargoyles? Well, I do. Hold on. Where do gargoyles at? Potentially dangerous. Oh, baby. That's what I like to see. Okay. So back to here. Alright. A custom heritage we will have in this campaign is the gargoyles. Oops. Gargoyles. Then explain how they came to be in Tyrannithus and what Tyrannithus, how they fit into the history and the modern day. Alright, and I had some stuff on that also. I'm trying to figure out where my notes are. Oh, the gargoyles in Skyhaven fit naturally into the city's lore. Here we go. Use these notes as a guide. Alright. Okay. Oof, just a lot of history there for these gargoyles. It's just going and going. Holy shit. Alright. Yikes. That's so much.
The gargoyles in Terranathis were originally created by the founders of the city, a highly advanced society descended from the Aslanti. They were designed to be guardians and builders, essential to the construction and protection of Terranathis, formerly known as Bastion. Their stone bodies made them perfect sentinels for the towers, libraries, and fortresses of the city. Gargoyles would remain motionless, blending seamlessly with the city's architecture until they were needed to defend their wards, whether that was a building, a person, or a section of the city itself. These powerful protectors took their duty seriously, devoting their lives to the safety and preservation of their wards. Historical role in Terranathis. 1. Creation and purpose. The gargoyles were artificially created by the city's founders using advanced Aslanti magic and technology designed to be the eternal protectors of Terranathis. Their stone-like bodies allowed them to function both as formidable defenders and as integral parts of the city's construction efforts. They built walls, towers, and fortifications, while also defending the city from external threats, both magical and physical. Each gargoyle was bound by a deep sense of duty and honor, often swearing a vigil to protect specific wards for their entire existence.
Wow.
This made them invaluable assets to Terranathis, where their stoic presence helped maintain order and security. 2. Gargoyle clans and social structure. Gargoyles organized themselves into clutches and clans, bound together by their shared duty and sense of purpose. They were known for their communal nature and strong work ethic, working tirelessly to build and protect the city. Each clutch was responsible for a particular ward, which could range from a building to a family or artifact. Mentorship was important in gargoyle culture, with older gargoyles guiding younger ones and ensuring the knowledge and skills needed to protect their wards were passed down through generations. Challenges in the elemental plane of air. When Terranathis was teleported to the elemental plane of air, it brought with it the gargoyle population, who were suddenly thrust into a world that was inhospitable to their stone-like physiology. The weightlessness and constant movement of the airplane clashed with the gargoyles' natural affinity for stability and endurance. As creatures tied to earth and stone, they found themselves struggling to maintain their physical forms. Physical deterioration. Many gargoyles began to experience physical degradation in the elemental plane of air. Their once strong stone bodies became brittle, and the lightness of the plane caused them to fall ill. Some gargoyles, overwhelmed by the strange new environment, became so despondent that they petrified permanently, turning into statues and never awakening again. Adaptation attempts. Despite their struggles, some gargoyles have actively sought magical solutions to stabilize their forms in the plane of air. They work with the city's scholars and mages to find ways to combat the effects of the air on their bodies, and some gargoyles have even formed alliances with other elemental creatures to seek a cure. However, many still struggle with their fading strength, continuing their vigil with a sense of duty even as they feel themselves slipping away. Modern-day role in Terranathis. 1. Defenders of the city. Even as they struggle to adapt, gargoyles remain staunch defenders of Terranathis. They continue to protect their wards as best they can, but the modern-day gargoyles face the dual challenges of maintaining their physical forms while upholding their ancient duties. Those that are still capable of fighting serve as the city's last line of defense, watching from high towers and fortresses. However, their diminishing numbers and physical weakening have made their once unshakable presence more fragile. The sight of a petrified gargoyle, frozen in a final act of protection, has become an increasingly common and tragic sight in Terranathis. 2. Social and cultural impact. The gargoyle struggles have added a layer of tragedy to their once mighty reputation. Where they were once feared and revered as the city's eternal guardians, many now view them with a mix of sympathy and sorrow, recognizing the sacrifice they continue to make in a world that no longer suits them. Still, gargoyles continue to play an important role in the city's architecture and defense, helping with fortifications and stonework in the portions of the city that remain solid. Their stone crafting and defensive structures are unmatched, and many younger generations of Terranathians still look to the gargoyles for guidance in times of crisis. 3. Role-playing opportunities. In this campaign, players may encounter gargoyles who are desperately seeking ways to restore their strength, as well as those who have resigned themselves to their fate, watching silently as their once powerful forms turn to stone. The choice to help these ancient guardians or witness their slow fade into stillness adds a powerful emotional layer to the campaign, representing the sacrifice and duty they uphold for the city they love. In summary, gargoyles remain an integral part of Terranathi's history and society. They were the city's builders and protectors, but now they face a grim future in the elemental plane of air, battling against their own physical limitations to fulfill their ancient roles. Their tragic story of loyalty, sacrifice, and struggle provides a rich backdrop for role-playing, with players able to engage with these ancient protectors in their fight for survival.
Okay. God damn. So what I'm doing now is I'm having it summarize everything for each of the different races or whatever. So that players can kind of go through and like read the first part, then if they're interested they read some more, and then it just kind of, you know, like we kind of keep it uniform as we go through. So okay. But it is getting kind of late. It's like midnight. Damn. Alright. So I should probably go to bed. Dang. We're really knocking this shit out, though. I only have a half day of work tomorrow. Alright. Let's see. Can you create a similar summary for the Becky Dwarves? Of Tyrannithus. That could be used for a player's guide. Okay. Alright. The Mbeki Dwarves of Tyrannithus, or Terranithus. I like Terranithus quite a bit. I kind of want to change it. So it's Terranithus. Terranithus are renowned for their master of airships, engineering, and stonecraft. Sweet. So just throw those in here. Alright. Can you give a similar guide for the Ilverani elves here are some brief notes. I think it's still like pretty heavy for a player's guide, but like I don't know. We could always like make a really refined. I kind of want to make a Google site for it, and you're just kind of like, oh, I want to learn more about these dwarves, and you click on it, and then it's like, boom, here's a shitload of information about the dwarves. All right, the Ilverani elves of Tyrannithus are a group of elves who were led astray from their homeland by a charismatic Twilight speaker, drawn by her fascination. All right, beautiful. Put that here. Let's see. Can you create a similar summary for the Changshu and Shangtang of Transis? I'm actually going to have the robot read this one out loud, because maybe her Chinese is less horrible than my Chinese. Let's see.
Tianshu and Tiantang of Tyrannithus. Player Guide Summary.
Tiantang, yeah, I had it. Okay.
The Tianshu and Tiantang humans of Tyrannithus are a small but highly influential population from the distant continent of Tianxia. Known for their magical expertise and planar studies, these groups were drawn to Tyrannithus long before the city's teleportation to the elemental plane of air. Scholars, mages, and artisans from the magical city of Tang Mai brought their families and culture with them, helping to shape Tyrannithus' academic and magical institutions. Key aspects. Origins. The Tianshu and Tiantang came from the distant lands of Tianxia, particularly the magical city of Tang Mai, known for its deep focus on arcane studies and planar magic. They were drawn to Tyrannithus' reputation as a hub of knowledge, arriving to work with the city's scholars and expand their understanding of magic in the planes. Arcane scholars and planar experts. The Tiantang, in particular, are renowned for their scholarly pursuits, especially in the realms of arcane magic and planar studies. Many of Tyrannithus' most prominent magical institutions were shaped by their contributions, and they continue to push the boundaries of planar research. Cultural ambassadors. Despite their smaller numbers, the Tianshu and Tiantang have brought rich cultural traditions from Tianxia, influencing Tyrannithus' art, magic, and scholarly pursuits. Their festivals, magical techniques, and customs have blended into the city's diverse cultural landscape. Devotion to scholarship. The Tiantang, known for their love of magic and scholarship, have contributed to Tyrannithus' growth as a center for arcane research. Many Tiantang mages serve as professors and researchers, furthering the city's knowledge of planar magic and helping Tyrannithus adapt to life in the plane of air. Modern role. In modern Tyrannithus, the Tianshu and Tiantang continue to be influential as scholars, mages, and diplomats.
Tiantang.
They are integral to the city's ongoing efforts to study and understand the elemental plane of air, serving as leaders in the fields of arcane magic and planar exploration. Players may encounter Tiantang scholars engaged in cutting-edge magical research or Tianshu diplomats working to forge alliances between different factions. These groups contribute to Tyrannithus' academic, magical, and cultural vibrancy, making them key figures in the city's intellectual and social life.
Beautiful. In our campaign, there's a mysterious and troubling phenomenon happening. Creatures who originate from the prime material plane, aka the people of Tyrannithus, or Tyrannithus. She says it's different every time, but I'm kind of digging the Tyrannithus. Like, I feel like I want to respell it. Aka the people of Tyrannithus, are not are... Okay, creatures who originate from the prime material plane, aka the people underneath this, when they die, comma, a small portion have their souls returned to objects, machines, and corpses, comma, because something is preventing them from reaching the River of Souls. This something is a big bad secret for late game content. I want to create a versatile heritage called The Returned. That allows for any of the Tyrannosaurus races, heritages discussed to come back. Okay. I was thinking we could allow the following heritages as uncommon options to represent souls inhabiting strange things to after death. So Leshy would actually be returned souls that made little plant bodies rather than the normal Leshy lore. Poppets would be the same situation, as well as automatons. That's a hard word. And then I think Darby had made a custom race for this just to practice making a race. And I was looking over it, it's pretty fucking good. Versatile heritage. There you go. For Skyhaven. Veil Walker, Graveshade, returned. Yeah, sure. So we're gonna file, download. Okay. Alright. Attached is a rough draft for a brand new versatile heritage, comma, and also can you explain, or sorry, can you provide adapted history and cultures for the Leshy, Poppets, and autonomous, taking into account this strange oof. Alright. Upload, download. Golly, it's complicated. All right. To develop the returned Versal heritage in Tyrannithus, death is no longer a guarantee of passage to the afterlife. For reasons unknown, some souls are prevented from reaching the river souls, instead being drawn back to the material world, inhabiting objects, constructs, or plants. These individuals are known as the returned souls who have found new forms to inhabit after death. The return can be of any heritage, and they embody the versatility of the original heritage combined with the strange circumstances of their return. Uncommon return options are devised of various materials. Okay. Adapted history. The Leshy, the returned plant bodies. In Skyhaven, the Leshy are not born of nature spirits, but are instead the returned souls of the deceased who have crafted bodies from living plants. These returned beings create their plant bodies out of local flora, using arcane rituals to animate them. Though they retain a connection to nature, their origin of soul sorcery gave them a strange otherworldly aura. Cultural adaptation. Leshy returned may have been druids, gardeners, or nature-oriented scholars. They often gather in communal groves where they practice their rituals, seeking ways to stabilize their existence in the planet air where plant life is limited. Their return is often seen as a gift from nature itself, and they act as protectors of the natural world within Tyrannithus. Poppets. The Poppets of Tyrannithus are souls who have been drawn back into handmade constructs, typically doll-like forms created by skilled artisans. These constructs, often created for other purposes, become vessels for the souls of the dead, giving them a second chance at life in this strange toy-like form. Poppets are capable of emotion, learning, and developing personalities, but their origins as constructs give them a sense of displacement. Poppets often feel a deep connection to the artisan communities, especially those that create and maintain constructs. They seek to understand the new forms. Automatons, the returned mechanical bodies. Automatons are the souls of the deceased who have returned to inhabit mechanical bodies. Alright. Nice. So we'll add this down at the bottom. Past kobolds. Here we go. Spatial. Oh. Okay. Yeah, we'll go here. It's gotta be 4, I guess. Okay. Spatial. The returned. Uncommon. Then we should also have the gargoyles be uncommon. Alright. So we did it. We did it. We finished the player's guide for races and heritages and ancestries and all that jazz. Whew. Alright. Ended up doing 2 hours of prep. It's 12:20 in the morning. I gotta go to bed. I hope everybody has a great night. And I guess I'll see you next time.
audacity of man.